It's time for the Luke Howard Show Live. Thank you very much. Thank you. Woo! Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh wow, the round of applause is really good today. Time to calm yourselves now because it is 10 a.m. and it is, of course, the one and the only show, the Luke Howard Show. We're here every day, but we're live Monday to Wednesday and recorded Thursday to Saturday. It's great to have your company today. It's Friday the 24th of April, so get yourselves ready for the weekend because we've got lots of stuff to get forward to on the show today. So we're going to kick off actually because I want to talk about Arbor Day, which is today, and a lot of people might not know what this is. Now, it's about planting trees. Now, it's stuff to do with oxygen and, you know, wildlife and protect it all. And they also are renewable resources and they provide a variety of materials and they build fuel and office supplies. It's beautiful for the environment and it provides shade on a sunny day and it improves on your quality life as well. So people get out in your garden and go and plant some trees because it looks absolutely amazing. So if I was you, I would do that. Please do it. It's a very good thing. So what you do is if you take photos and post it on social media, then everybody would know that you're celebrating Arbor Day, which is a great thing to do. You can also spend time caring for trees in your area, but not at the moment. I wouldn't say get out to do that at the moment, but you can join in events near you. You can consider trees that plant too, and you can also look for fast-growing trees so that they may enjoy the tree during your life. Twin planting and slower-growing trees in an investment in the future as well. Generations is to come will enjoy the shade and beauty of the tree long and after they've gone, and also you are leaving something as precious as a tree behind, and it's quite of an investment really because you could use it for years and years and years, and when new people move in, they'll look at it and then they'll think, oh, that looks amazing. A bit of history for you about it because the journalist and newspaper editor J. Sterling Morton established Arbor Day on state of Nebraska with hopes that it would spread across the country. This first celebration challenged the people of Nebraska to plant as many trees as they possibly could since the prone almost missed the trees and frosts of east, and they answered the challenge by planting more than 1 million trees that very first year. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So happy Arbor Day to the ones who are celebrating it today. Okay, so let's talk about what's in the news this week, of course, as we do every day. Okay, so we're talking about hat masks now. Hat masks. Do you know what they are? Hat masks. So a lot of people wear face masks in the streets. There's no point wearing them because it doesn't help. It doesn't really help at all, to be honest with you. But they've now introduced hat masks. This is the Waitrose department store. They've introduced it, which sounds amazing. The World Health Organization is constantly renewing the effectiveness of face masks, but that doesn't actually mean a policy U-turn is imminent. There are many practical issues to consider before anyone though, is asked to wear a mask outside the home. So London's Mayor Sadiq Khan rightly says that it would be wrong to tell the public to buy surgical masks, as this would massively cut supplies and able to the NHS and care staff. He also suggests that bandanas of other fabrics, guests bandanas or other fabrics, of course, and they also can't stop a 70-mile-per-hour sneeze. Masks need changing every 3 to 4 hours, but just to give everybody one mask a day means that 500 million a week are needed. Now, requiring production of £1,600 every second, we don't actually have that capacity, he said. To be effective, we also need lessons on if the proper use, such as not touching the mask front as you take it off, and how to fit it from, well, under the chin to the bridge of the nose. And there's a picture of on my script of 2 people in a Waitrose department store. It doesn't say whereabouts it is, but they're saying that they should wear them, and they're also saying they've got a yes and but. So are they in any use? So Yes, because they may reduce risk of wearing and catching coronavirus, and also it may stop the spread of the virus to others, and it might help reinforce social distancing, and masks also help to reassure the public, of course, and a mass issue could also speed up return to work. But, yes, you heard me, but only high quality masks are truly effective and only work if a user knows how to fit properly, and homemade masks are largely ineffective, and it may lead to complacency about hand washing, and surge in demand may hit frontline supplies. And we'll leave that one there because it goes on and on and on and on, so we won't talk more about that one. Okay, so a kind policeman is among victims on a devastating day. Now, he's also saying that we will greatly miss by all the force, and Mr. Coker is survived by his wife and their fair children. Now, Northwest Ambulance Service said the other day that one of these pandemics had died on last Friday after contracting COVID-19. The Trust's chief executive Darren McCree said, "Our colleagues was married with children and had worked for the Trust for a considerable number of years." Now, Macquarie Price, 61, who worked for Greater Manchester Police, interrogated Berlin, died on April the 2nd. Her sister Emily Antrevely said, "Massey was a powerhouse, a positive influence in my life and lives of the people who knew and loved." Now, NHS admin officer Liz Shaw, 61, she died from coronavirus at St James's Hospital in Leeds, COVID-19 of course, and she is survived by her husband and 3 children. She had worked for the NHS since 2008, which is about 8 years ago. 12 years ago. 12 years ago, blimey. 12 years ago she worked for 12 years she worked for them for. And one of her sons, Jason Shaw, 34, is a mental health nurse. Now, he said that she was one of those bubbly people who liked to motivate everyone, and 17 care home residents and a staff member have also died, 6 of whom had tested positive for COVID-19. Now, Tile Green Lodge in Harlow, which I know Harlow very well, Harlow in Essex. Oh, that's in the Sunday Express, is it? Okay. And 6 died in hospital. I've never heard of the Green Lodge, never, in a hospital as well, but a lack of testing meant that it was not there if the others had COVID-19. Now, Quantum Care, which operates the site, said the home had aquatic staffing and full stocks of personal protective equipment. That's PPE, by the way. Now, Gogglebox star Jonathan Tapper was the other night was reported to be sick with COVID-19. I prefer to call it COVID-19. He lost 3 stone earlier this year after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, lawyer Stephen Knight, 70, has died of COVID-19 after he visited a police station to talk to a client. Now, Mr. Knight had been called to the interview at Folkestone Police Station in Kent on March the 10th. The former detective sergeant died on Thursday, his 70th, which was his 70th birthday, funny enough. Last Thursday he died, and by the way, the Lawyer Society said that it highlighted the risk solicitors and were being asked to take in the midst of the pandemic. Now, his widow Jenny said that Steve was the most wonderful, caring and loving husband. Now, Acture Care nurse Michael Alou died after contracting COVID-19 in Homerton Hospital in Hackney, London, where he died. Where he had worked since 2007, so that would have been about 13 years he worked for them for. Now, Tracy Fletcher said that he will be gratefully missed. So on Friday, Linda Clark, 66, a community midwife at Royal Albert Edward Infirmary in Wigan, died from the virus as well. And our thoughts are with all their families, of course, and we wish them the best, the families, and we hope they all get well soon with recovering over what has happened. And yeah, so a new vaccine. They're thinking of a new vaccine now that could be done by August. Now, this was in the news yesterday. Now, the human testing of a potential coronavirus vaccine began in Britain last week, and it actually could be ready by mid-August. A leading government scientist has also revealed that Professor Sir John Bell told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, and clinical trials that started on last Thursday at Oxford University, and Prof Bell, the chair at the Office for Strategic Organisation of Health Research added that they have got a candidate vaccine, and which I think they went into man for the first time this week after a wide range of safety studies. Now, it was the best test of it in a human being, and the crucial thing is that you have to be a proper trial because safety is really important for these things. But if we can see evidence of a strong immune response by the middle of the end of the May, when I think that the game is on, and they may well be get across the British and the finish line by mid-August. Then, of course, that there is the massive issue of how you can manufacture at scale many billions of closures. It had previously been reported, though, that should the vaccine prove an effect, is that the UK could be producing the huge quantities of it by September. Now, it can often take 10 to 15 years to get a vaccine for to market, so it's highly unusual for one to be fast-tracked in less than a year. Now, Professor Bell's hopes of a vaccine by mid-August also contradicted previous views from some health officials who have said that it could take a year to 18 months to fully validate any potential vaccine. The UK's chief scientific advisor, Sir Patrick Vallance, said that last month that it would last till 2021, which is actually next year, which is true because it is next year, isn't it? And it will be like this till next year. They're saying after Christmas, that's what they're saying. So, before one was ready, business security. Now, Alok Schumer also warned that even with all their efforts, we should be under no illnesses. Illusions. Sorry, but my words come out funny. Don't they, at this moment? It always happens to me. My words come out strange. I don't know why. But producing a vaccine is a colossal undertaking and a complex process which will take many months, which is true because it will. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about the virus scheme that Cons released by mistake. We won't go into that now because we're going to talk about that tomorrow, and I'll let you know everything about it. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. Now, we're moving to my local news now, which is around my area, which is where I live. Now, this story, it says that our world will be one of greater compassion of our communities. Now, okay, let me just sort myself out on this one, because it's quite a long one. So, okay, so the country, though, the county, and... no, I've got it wrong. Okay, let me start with this one, because this is saying that there is no doubt that we are living in a unscrupulated times. No one has ever experienced this scheme measures, and there have been taken by the UK and other governments around the world in the effort to show the spread of COVID-19 virus right here in our county, Hertfordshire. We are, of course, as much in the firing line, aren't we, really, as anywhere else in the country, and sadly, the number of deaths in this county continues to rise. However, we want to look at the positive things on this show. We really do, and that are happening around the county. And I must start with the amazing the response of the call, though, for volunteers. I mean, the volunteers have been incredible at this moment as well, and they've always been immensely proud of the fantastic number of Hertfordshire residents volunteering on a regular basis. Now, far above the national average as well, and it is this time that when the county need people to step up to the place, and the people of Hertfordshire have been at the empowerment and of course at front of coming forward and supporting the most vulnerable people in the community. Now, the NHS Trust, which is a flat-out coping with the influx of patients suffering from COVID-19, as well as their usual workload, and are being supported to many others, including amazing numbers, returning to the NHS from retirement, as well as student nurses jumping in onto the front line to offer support. Now, did anyone go outside their houses last night to do your clap? We did. We do it every single Thursday. We go out, as I said last week, we go out, we chat with our neighbours, and we like to chat to our neighbours as well, but we don't go right near them. We don't go near them at all. We just chat to them from a distance, you know. And the other day was funny when we did it, though, because one of our neighbours' dogs went over to our house and went inside our next door neighbour's house. So it was quite nice to chat to them, because we don't usually chat to our neighbours as much. We have got friends next door but one, but everybody else we just chat to sometimes, but not all the time. But we do sometimes, but not every time. Okay, so however, the NHS Trust are covering Hertfordshire together with the PAH Trust in Harlow, which covers areas of East Hertfordshire and a short number of items which we all believe can be sourced or manufactured in the county. And I am holding a wish list of items, as he said.